Here. So if you guys are in the chat and you hear me talking to other people, I'm not talking to myself. I'm actually talking to other viewers here. Wow. Wow. How many inches of snow you guys got? Extravagant Fragrances here live. It is fragrance talk tonight. Fragrance talk. So tonight I'm kind of going with an outline. I've kind of just been doing these live streams kind of unplanned, unscripted, just kind of winging it, and I kind of want to try a little something different today. You got outside snow, so we're talking to a viewer. Damien, what's up, brother? How you doing, brother? You know what I'm saying? It's just, yep. So Damien says, "What's up, bro? Keep doing good things." Yep, just showing up, bro. Just showing up here. So we got a viewer over here on the other platform viewing in from Alaska. He says there's about 3 to 4 feet piled up in snow, and he's got Elena. How are you doing? Thanks for joining in. He's got 3 to 4 feet of snow in Alaska tonight. I think I just saw my cousin in the chat over here on the other platform. Thanks for joining in. Like and share, everybody. Good evening, Elena. So you said it's raining in California tonight. I'm doing great. I just got done working out, and I'm just like trying to get back into the groove of things. I just been falling off with these workouts. I used to be on a regular program, so we're just finally getting back into that, and that's the great thing about muscle memory is like if you've been doing it for a long time over the years, you kind of it's easier to bounce back, knowing what you're able to get to. So, it's just a matter of getting back into it. So Damien says it's cold and windy over in San Antonio, Texas. What's the temperature there, Damien? What temperature is it? So we're gonna get into it is here in Pennsylvania. It is 8:43 p.m. Western. 44 degrees in San Antonio, Texas. Is that supposed to be? I mean, excuse my ignorance, but is that kind of supposed to be like the warmer part of Texas, Damien? Thanks for joining in. Like and share. 4:43 p.m. So it's 8:40. It's 8:44 here in Pennsylvania, and it is 4:43 p.m. in Alaska tonight. So that's about a 4 hour difference. Okay, yeah. So you're in the warmer. So I kind of get the feeling that part of Texas is kind of like kind of sounds like the Carolinas a little bit. Am I right or wrong? 7:44 p.m. in San Antonio, Texas. So about an hour difference from Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining in. Like and share, everybody. Extravagant Fragrances here. Give me some likes. And don't forget to check out the shop here. So, yeah, like I was saying, is I kind of wanted to go with an outline tonight on certain fragrance, um, on a fragrance discussion. And I have that outline. Hold on a second. Um, Thanks for joining in. How you doing? Davey says the weather is bipolar in San Antonio. It's definitely like the Carolinas. Yeah, Carolinas, boy. I remember I was there one time. I went to my office and I'm like, it was like 90 degrees in North Carolina and not a cloud in the sky, bro. I go to leave my office and I go outside and all of a sudden and there's big balls of hail just coming, just crashing down on cars and stuff. And the guys that do like the dent repair, those guys make out because they know like periodically that happens in the Carolinas where they will get hailstorms and it's like damaging hailstorms. And I don't think the car insurance companies, I don't think they cover, some car insurance companies don't cover that kind of damage. So you'd see tents like set up outside of like different grocery stores, and they'd be out there, you know, pulling dents out of people, out of the roofs of people's cars. Thanks for joining in. Like and share, everybody. What was I gonna say here? I was just gonna pin some different fragrances, and let's see here. So welcome everybody. We're gonna get into this into the discussion tonight, and I will revisit the chat. We're talking about fragrances. We're gonna go through an overview on the art of niche fragrances, and also wanted to get into certain fragrances for certain weather, certain seasons, you know, and get into kind of like the what is hot right now, like what recommended scents for uh this particular weather that we're in right now, like this crispy, cold, freezing weather, you know. So, but anyways, thank you for the like there. Um, Sounds good, Wester. Uh, so So what are niche? What are niche fragrances? Niche fragrances are kind of like fragrances, kind of like basically fragrances that are not mainstream. You know, they're not mainstream. They're kind of, you know, a blend. For example, like blended fragrance, like the parfums, like the oils. Those would be considered niche, right? Something a perfect example would be a muqallit, right? Like the Arabian muqallits. Those would be considered niche, okay? And uh, I guess you could say if you were to spray a couple different sprays or swipe uh, this fragrance or, you know, two or three different fragrances on you, technically that would be kind of considered niche, right? It's a small kind of like like a certain type of, it's almost like music, right? Like people have certain genres of music, right? You have certain, I guess you could say like a type of genre for certain fragrances, right? Um, and so that's kind of what the niche is, okay? And it's always changing. Like I said, Mulcullet is a perfect example, which is basically in the Middle East, for example. One tradition that they will do is they will take a series of different single note fragrances and they'll just blend them in, right? They'll get a couple ouds, different types of ouds. They'll get a couple types of musks. They'll get some, you know, a really good rose, or it could even be a jasmine and sandalwood, and they'll just blend it all up, and they will make their own particular blend, right? So this was something that that one designer, Roja Dove, he actually ventured off and he kind of has gone into the eastern um, part of the world as far as perfume goes. And I think he even released one fragrance is called Oud for Greatness. But I kind of I respect that because for the longest time you didn't see, you know, your Eastern kind of crossover to the Western side, or the Western crossover into the Eastern as far as perfumes go. So um, I just thought that was pretty interesting that he's kind of ventured off into especially the ouds. But that was something that he had brought up in an interview. He talked about the mukullets and how every Arab home has mukullets, right? Which is just a blend. It's just a blend. That's all it is, right? A blend of of a bunch of different fragrances mixed together. And so, if you're there in YouTube, in the chat, I'm kind of just going down this list. I will come back. I'll read the comments, and if there's questions, I'll bring it up. Um, but I want to kind of get the conversation going a little bit with this outline here we have. And so uh so we're talking about niche, we're talking about setting the tone, you know, right? There's certain fragrances that are really good for setting a certain tone, or you know, for a certain environment, right? Like there's certain fragrances that I would wear at home just relaxing that I wouldn't wear, for example, let's say at like a business meeting, or you know, you're you know, in a environment where you're meeting with people in just business, right? There's certain fragrances that I would wear, let's say, at a formal dress up gathering that I probably wouldn't wear at home just lounging. Okay. Um, and then we're going to go into, we could talk about the exploring different like rare ingredients. What are some rare ingredients? What are some very expensive ingredients? Um, so we can get into that a little bit. Let's check the comments here. Um, so Damien says, yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely San Antonio. I saw those hail balls, man. I saw one YouTube video. I'll never forget that, man. I think I got PTSD just watching that video. And it was it was this guy in his house. He had the sky windows. I think that's what they're called, like those windows that are up in the ceiling. And he had these hail balls just come blasting through the glass windows from the roof. You know, how's it going? Like and share, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Extravagant Fragrances here. Thanks for joining in. So, but let's talk about certain fragrances that, yeah, Gabriel Quinones. Is that how you say Quinones? Did I pronounce that correctly? Um, yeah, absolutely. Um, there's certain fragrances that it's funny. I won't even mention it here, but there's just certain fragrances like when it comes to like memories and stuff. I have to ask my viewers here. What are some of the strangest or funniest times uh, attached to certain fragrances, and which fragrances remind you of certain times, be it good or a bad time, right? Because I know for myself, I know there's quite a few different fragrances that remind me of different things and different events and different places, and just different things that have happened throughout my entire life. And I could just, and it brings me back, and I'm just like, Oh yeah, I remember that fragrance. I remember, I remember who I was with at that time, or I remember where I was. I remember, and it just opens up a whole new door as to like just the list of memories that happen. Um, yeah, the citrus is really good for business. I would have to say the polos, the old school polos are good for business. I don't know. Like there was this one fragrance I was given a long time ago, and I never actually carried it. But it was called Polo Crest, and I just remember I was on a sales run and I was wearing that fragrance, and it's just very business, a very business like fragrance. Monica, how are you doing? Thanks for joining in. Like and share, everybody, and thanks for joining in. How's it going? We are multi-streaming tonight. I plan on streaming to other platforms as well. Does anybody know, aside from, can anybody tell me what are the top streaming platforms? Because I know YouTube is probably number one, to be honest. Um, and then we got TikTok here. But I would like to know if anybody else knows what are some other really good streaming platforms. I think Facebook was another big one, but I have not been on Facebook in so long. Twitch, really? Now Twitch for gamers or just Twitch in general for just for just any streamer. Okay, okay. Jay says Twitch, and okay. Um, I did Twitch like once. I streamed on there once, and I just never really did it again after that. I may get back on there though. Um, so Gabriel Quinone, so he said he remembers the polo crest. And Monica here says she remembers the first time she smelled cool water. It took her to her aunt's room in the 90s. I remember cool water. I just all I know is the cool water that I remember it it smelled better than the cool waters that I smell now for some reason. I don't know why. Uh, I don't know if the companies change the fragrance up or what. But if you look up like uh, what is it? Vanilla Fields. That's an old throwback. If you look up Vanilla Fields, you'll find like they have like certain versions. It seems like you'll see if you go on eBay, you'll see people selling like the old vintage bottles or the quote unquote the original version, like when it very first came out. And then it's like I don't know if they update these fragrances and change things up or make them different and then just keep calling it the same name or what. Uh, but that's one fragrance that I saw. I was looking for, and I couldn't differentiate between the vintage stuff and the newer stuff. I remember the fragrance Aspen. The first time I smelled that fragrance, man, I still think that's a good fragrance though. I just wish that fragrance was a bit stronger, but I think that's an underrated fragrance. Aspen, it's still around. It's very one of those cheap fragrances, kind of like Stetson, right? But I think that's a nice one. So so Gabriel Quinone says Versace Eros, he smelled it in a magazine. He said changed his life. Nice. Yeah, that one I hear is a party fragrance. That's what I hear. Thanks for joining in TikTok. Like and share if you have any questions. We are talking about fragrances that bring you back. What are some of your most memorable fragrances? Um, what whether it be good or bad. What are some of your most memorable fragrances that you remember? And what events were taking place? What happened in this? What happened during that time? Uh, I just remember one time. So thanks for joining in. Like and share. I remember one time. Yeah, I got this one fragrance and it was the Dolce Gabbana Blue. It was the body oil. I was wearing this fragrance and I was out there in San Diego and it was just uh I just attracted the wrong people with this fragrance. So I was like, man, it was just really embarrassing. And I was just like, when I go back and I think about that fragrance, it's a good fragrance, but I just shake my head. I'm like, man, uh, yeah, it was pretty awkward. Um, I was going like and share. Thanks for joining in. Canoe. So Gabriel says Canoe. He says his flag football coach wore it heavy. that that sounds like it might have had I don't know why I get the impression that like a heavy aftershave impression here with that. You know, it's a really good fragrance though that I think is still underrated, but it's to me it's a timeless scent, and that is Old Spice, the classic Old Spice. That fragrance right there is I still like it to this day. And the bottle, I remember when the bottles used to be glass, like a glass or ceramic. Now they make it with plastic. They don't put it in that ceramic bottle. It has like a little, you just kind of shake it on like soy sauce. You know. Thanks for joining in. Like and share TikTok. How's it going? Like and share. So let's get into the layers. Let's talk about layers. Let's talk about fragrances that wear well in this kind of weather, actually, that we're in. And I will go over here down the master list. But since we're on that topic, excuse me. Since we're on that topic, Gabriel, the Versace Eros, that fragrance uh, does wear well in the winter. I know what's his name, Jeremy Fragrance. He says that's a party fragrance, um, but that definitely wears. The sillage on that fragrance wears well. It has a good lasting power, I think. And there's definitely it's a citrus fragrance, but there's something else there. I think there's some musks in there that give it a good amount of hang time, you know, because I've worn that fragrance and it's stayed on me for quite some time. So Gabriel says he likes the Royal Copenhagen when he's around older folks. Really? Uh, uh, what are the notes in that? The one body oil that I carry, it's on the website. Extravagant. If you're viewing it from TikTok, extravagantfragrances.com is our version of the Creed Millesime 1872. I believe that's it. And that one, yeah, that one kind of reminds me of something. Um, it just puts an image a whole scene in my head. How many of you, when you wear a fragrance, as soon as you smell it or you wear it, it literally transports you into, just imprints this scene in your head or this image in your head, and it just takes you there. You get what I'm saying? Like that fragrance, when I wear that fragrance, it makes me think of almost like it kind of reminds me of the guy from 101 Dalmatians who's just like he's sitting there like smoking his pipe, right? And the dogs are chilling. Well, it makes me think of like a real human life 101 Dalmatians minus all the Dalmatians, and you're in that living room and you got that old chair, right? Them old school chairs with the backs that like sit way up here, you know, and like the old dude is sitting there with his Kango hat, like smoking his pipe, and then you right like over there in front of the fireplace, you know what I mean? And maybe they got like an old sheepdog or some kind of long-haired dog that's just sitting there by the fireplace. Like those are kind of some of the imagery that I kind of get imprinted in the back of my head when I smell that fragrance. Damien says he can't wait to smell the Virgin Island. Yeah, that one. Some years back, there was one customer that tried that, and he said he likes to wear it. He was a big frag head, big time frag head. He was like, yeah, he's like, I like this. I like wearing this when I'm just chilling with my girlfriend at home. Like that was his thing. But that's a very tropical. Definitely, if you're into coconut, you want a little bit of pineapple in the background. That's it right there. Thanks for joining in. How's it going? Like and share. But this weather, boy, I tell you, uh, it's like man, it's like ends at like 5 o'clock. It's like it's dark so fast. But So, anyways, I want to get back into the layering certain fragrances and also fragrances that for different seasons, like the winter season, for example. One winter fragrance that I will say is good for the winter is going to be the Janet Ferdos. That one reminds me of Some people, I've heard people say something like vanilla or whatever. That fragrance is not a vanilla fragrance. Jennifer Dose is very much a green fragrance to me. You know, when I smell Jennifer Dose, well, maybe it's because the actual fragrance, like the oil itself, is green. I mean, but I kind of get like greenery vibes, not like pine, not like a annoying pine saw or anything like that, but almost like a natural smelling greenery landscape. You know, um, like some essence of greenery in it. Uh, so that one wears well. That one definitely wears well in the winter. I would not say the same for the summertime. I don't think that fragrance wears well in the summer. How do you spell that fragrance name? Which one? The Jenna for Dose, Monica? Yeah, hold on. I'll put it here in the chat. Janat, Janatul Firdos. You kind of have to be careful how you say that fragrance because it can sound like something really bad. That's why I just say Janat Firdos. Uh, Janat Firdos. That's a really nice, and it is a unisex fragrance. Yep, absolutely. That's a really good winter wear. The Mawa, it's spelled Maawa. That's also a good winter wear. That fragrance, I've known people to make incense out of that actually. Uh, and that's something I've been kind of experimenting with is making incense out of the expensive imports because I'm just like just for personal use. Um, and so far, it's interesting because the incense making, to me, if you ask me, I think incense making out of certain fragrances kind of exposes what is in particular fragrances. Like, I've got some oud blends, for example, that are very expensive. However, um, I don't think they're 100% oud. Well, obviously they're not, but I'll give you another example. Like one of my favorite incense is going to be the Arabian sandalwood, and it's just really nice for making for as an incense stick. However, I've smelled some of my oud blends, and I attempted to make some of them into an incense stick. Not incense sticks because they're just so expensive that I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna attempt to sit here and make an entire bundle because it's just that expensive. I don't want to do that and just be wasting a whole bunch of oil on one bundle incense. So what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit and I'll just experiment with one stick at a time. And I've found that some of the ouds, I don't know if it's that's just the way it smells, but there was one particular oud that came off very sandalwoodish, very sandalwoodish, and I was like beginning to wonder if it was like when that fragrance was made, if there was more sandalwood used in that than actual or cedar than actual oud, you know. And then there are other oud blends that I burned, and I got everything that smells every bit of oud. Uh, the oud Isfahan. I actually tried to make an incense stick out of that, and it smells just like you're burning like a real oud to me. But that one was good. That was a good burn that I experimented with. The Mukullet Haramain, that was an amazing burn. I may revisit that and I may make that into a bundle just for my own personal use. But that was an amazing burn. Let me see what else. I tried the Musk KL. Musk KL. Um, it smelled just like Musk KL, but I don't know. I'm more impressed with it wearing it than I am burning that fragrance. And then what else did I try? I'm trying to remember. Here's another thing I did is now the vanilla bean. I tried to make that into an incense stick, and that was a terrible, terrible fail. Not every fragrance burns well as an incense. Thank you for the like there, Chief. Um, not every fragrance burns well, so that's something you got to know. When I put that on the stick, it was terrible, but it may burn well as an incense oil and let's say an oil warmer, right? The let me see. Back to the Mawa. Getting ADHD here. So back to the Mawa. So there was this brother I was talking to some years ago, and he was telling me that he had women calling the house about that fragrance, and his wife was getting a bit. She was a bit upset about that because they were just going crazy. You know, like yeah, who are these women calling the house about the Mawa? Uh, and he was saying that was just a big hit for him. What is that? I want you to try it. Wait, now I know. What is it? Just slide over. No, 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 right now, no, right now, no, right now, no, right now, babe. Babe, yeah, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat it. Don't worry. I'm sure it's good. Love you, babe. Anyways, yeah, I'll be there. Is it done? No, I just made one of these. What is it? No, not right now. Not right now. So, anyways, so we're talking about the Malwa. That fragrance right there. Uh, I know of people that tried to reproduce that, duplicate it, all this stuff. No, the original Malwa, I think, smells the best. Um, and I heard that made a really good incense stick. There was another. I was talking to a family member the other day. We're talking about the Song of India uh, incense. We're just going down the line of different incense that we've tried. I've tried that incense, and let me tell you, Song of India is the original. The first time I smelled that incense, it was a really good incense stick. However, the next time I tried to buy some of those, I don't know if it was a knockoff or what, but someone tried to copy it and it was just terrible. The original Song of India was just way, way better than the knockoff that I think I ended up getting. But Mawa Janet Ol Mawa, that fragrance that's also a good winter wear. The Italian Cypress is a really good winter wear. Um, what else? Majmua, that's a really good winter wear. Um, where did I get the original Song of India? Um, Lane, honestly, I don't even remember. But hold on a second. I don't. Walaikum Mortaza Ahmed. Walaikum salam, brother. How you doing? Alhamdulillah. How about yourself? I'm doing great. Alhamdulillah. The thanks for joining in. Like and share. The original. Honestly, Lane, you said you have some in the yellow pack. Yep, yep. It comes in the yellow pack. Um, Alhamdulillah, brother. We're just talking about fragrance tonight. Just kind of open talk. And we're talking about different seasons, different fragrances that wear well in the winter. Uh, and that yellow pack. And then we were talking about incense, make different fragrances that go well in incense stick as well as wearing them. But yeah, that yellow pack is really good. I just honestly I go with sellers that have like a perfect feedback. If I see they don't have a perfect feedback, I just stay away. If it's like if they got like like I'm a big eBay fan, right? So like if on eBay if they're like 95%, 96%, I just move on. Especially if you see other people saying that the product isn't the original. So she says she got some from a local head shop too. Yeah, yeah, that song of India is nice. However, yeah, the original, the way that incense stick is done is they go all the way. They are not playing around with their incense. So brother said, how long does your Baccarat Rouge 540 last on the skin for you, or you haven't tested it? I will order Baccarat Rouge bulk from you if it is last long. I think you have it. No, brother, I don't have that. I don't have that. I've been thinking about getting it, but I don't have that at the moment. I have so many people asking for that. Believe it or not. You said you like the temple smell in the house. Yeah, it does. It does smell like it could be like a temple type of incense. So are you a fraghead too, Lane? But brother Mortaza, that Baccarat Rouge, I have to be honest, man, I was not really impressed when I smelled it. I had somebody send me a sample, and I just was not very impressed with that fragrance. So that's why if I do carry it, I may end up getting the imported version of that. Just because maybe the notes might be a lot more prominent. Which one would you recommend to buy this from your website, which is long lasting and sweet? Some so are you into like the designer types, brother Mortaza, or are you into ouds? Are you into musks? Are you into the florals? Let me know, and I can tell you which one is strong. Something stronger, something like stronger. You're into the designers. Hmm. If you're into like the designers, like the designer smelling one, I have the Saudi version of the Creed Aventus. That is the import. I went to a family wedding. Ah, Lena, Lena, you're on both. You got me on both platforms here. You're on your phone. It comes up Lane on okay on TikTok. Thanks for joining in here. So we got a viewer here. He's asking which one is strong, like a strong smelling designer. So honestly, man, I'm just gonna tell you straight up what I personally like and personally wear. The Saudi version, the Surati of the Creed Aventus, that version. Uh, the Misk Al Rijal, that is not a designer body oil, but it smells designer. Like it's a layered. That's a layered fragrance. That fragrance right there, you can catch me carrying that same fragrance with the French version of Invictus Aqua. Those two uh, have accompanied themselves in my pocket on many occasions. But the Misk Al Rijal is very much um, has a designer smell to it, and the Invictus Aqua it gets tons of compliments. Tons of compliments. Like I kid you not. And women actually like to wear that one too. Yeah, the Sorati Aventus. I went to a family wedding wearing that. I was obviously I was wearing a suit and and my whole family, everybody was turning their heads. They're like, Mr. Smell Good here. Everybody had something to say. Everybody was like, you smell so good, and tons of compliments on that one. And to be honest with you, it's not really my favorite. It's just an attention getter. People love it. People have bought it off of me on many occasions, um, and it does attract a lot of attention. Lane says, "Yes, she placed. I placed another order this week. So good, and referred two coworkers. Awesome. I appreciate that, Lane. Elaine, you prefer Elaine or Elena? Thank you so much for that. So Mortaza says the Sorati Aventus one sounds nice. And the Sorati Aventus, it is 100 ml, or do you have? I have the 500 ml, but I don't sell it in that size. I can get it. It depends on you. If you want it in that size, I can get it in that size. But on the website, I believe it's. Let me see. Let me just double check the website. Okay. Okay, Elena. Sounds good. Just checking something here. Checking the website for this for Mortaza here. Yeah, Mortaza, I think I have enough for 100 ml. If you want me to invoice you, I can send you an invoice. You can send me an email. You can send me an email. Hold on a second. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. You know, sometimes I post stuff on my website and I'm like, why can't I find my own stuff here? Okay, so here, if we go to the import section, uh, over here on the import section, we have. I thought that was up there. I've got a couple of the Sorati fragrances there. Another one, another one that I think would be good is the Mortaza's the Oud edition. That's an Oud blend, but and it's sweet and it smells layered. There's layers in that fragrance. But brother, I cannot find that Aventus on the website. But if you want to send me an email, I can invoice you for that. If you want the 100 ml, I can invoice you for 100 ml. Because I don't think I posted that to the website. But I absolutely do have that. So here, I will put my email address here for you in the chat. Yeah. But the Creative Ventus, that one is also a nice winter one. The all the ouds, I will say the oud Isfahan is gonna be good for you want something loud. I know that that's one of my go-tos all the time. It's very loud, very attention grabbing. The white oud is very attention grabbing. But among the designer ones, yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Misk Al Rijal and the Ventus and the Invictus Aqua, the imported French version. I've got some other French versions on there. Somebody this week or last week got the French Bleu de Chanel, the French Coros Silver. That's also another good one. The French version of Dolce Gabbana is another good one. Um, the Polo Black, I have the French version of that one. That's also a good one. Flavio says, Jesus Christ is coming back. You don't have to spam me on that, brother. I believe that too. I absolutely believe that. You didn't know that, did you? You got to spam my chat with Jesus is coming back. We absolutely believe that 100%. You got to tell me that. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, let's get back here. Let's get into the discussion here. Oh, I was gonna say. So those are so brother Mortaza. So those are the designers. Now, if you're looking into let's get into some of the layered fragrances. If you're looking into layered fragrances, uh, I have a gang of that on the website. I think I think Aqua de Gio, the one that I have is actually not a despite what many might say, I don't really think that's a good summer fragrance. Even though it is. I mean, I sell it for people because like, hey, I want something summer like, and I want something that's going to be, have citrus. That's a heavy citrus fragrance. The Aqua de Gio that I have is heavy, heavy, heavy on the citrus. But that's something I honestly would wear that in the wintertime just because it's a very loud Aqua de Gio. I sold that. I remember I sold that to a brother back when I lived in San Diego, and when I smelled him, to me, it smelled like an import. It was a domestic Aqua de Gio that I sold to him, and I totally forgot that he bought it from me. It was the kit, the 1/3 ounce kit that I had, and he's like, "Do you have Aqua de Gio?" I was like, "Yeah, I have it," and I gave it to him, and he was wearing it in the masjid one day, and I kind of was like, kind of got a little downwind breeze in the ranks, smelling that Aqua de Gio. And when I smelled it, I'm like, where does brother? I thought to myself, where does brother get that import from, and what is he wearing? Because that's really good. And when I asked him what it was, he told me it's the Aqua de Gio. It's the one that I bought from you, and that really changed my view of that fragrance. But that to me, I think Aqua de Gio is a good winter fragrance. Depending on who you are, it could be a good summer fragrance. I mean, I guess it really depends on your body chemistry. Um, let me see what else. What else? You know what else is another fragrance that I think is timeless is the Aramis. Aramis is a very good winter wear. Um, that fragrance smells very musky. I was really impressed. I smelled that. I ran across this one brother, and he was interesting. And this goes back to his son was killed in a drive-by actually. And that when I smell that fragrance, that's what I think of this guy because he was like trying to promote you know like an awareness and stuff like that type of deal with like the violence in the area. It was like a shootout that happened among a couple gangs where he lived. But his son was caught in the crossfire. When I met the brother, he was wearing that fragrance, which was the Aramis, and that kind of reminded me of him. I don't want to eat that right now. What is it? No, mate, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna like it. I promise. Please. Okay. Um, let me see here. So yeah, Aramis is a good one. That's a good winter wear. Uh, and then I'll have to say the Tom Fords, like the Tom Ford Noors. Those are good winter wears. Like the Polo Black, Polo Double Black. Those are both really good winter wears. Let me see what else. Now we can get into the women's. We can get into the women's winter wears. Let's get into that. Let's give the guys a break for a little bit. So for women, I'm gonna have to say the Angel. Angel is definitely a good winter wear for women. It's a heavy fragrance, in my opinion, but Angel is something I would personally wear. I would wear that fragrance. Uh, and I think that fragrance was actually rebranded under different names and made into an import. But Angel is definitely a good wear. Let me see. Hold on. The Bond number 9, Madison Avenue. That would be a good winter wear. It's a very sweet but floral fragrance, but it is loud. The Bright Crystal, the Versace Bright Crystal, that's another good one for women. That is loud. All of the Burberrys are good. Now, um, I can't. Well, as far as winter goes, no, I don't. I don't know which one of these Burberrys are going to be good for winter, but they're all good. They're all big sellers. Let me see. The Chanel number 5 is definitely a winter wear. If you're a female, that's a timeless scent and absolutely a winter wear. Another one that I'm going to point out, Coco Chanel is going to be another good winter wear for women. Um, Couture. It's a floral fragrance, but I think it's also a good winter wear. And also the Juicy Couture. And also the Crystal Gardenia, the Kim Kardashian Crystal Gardenia. I think that would also be a good winter wear. Um, and the classic smelling Dolce Gabbana. Oh, alaikum salam, Sister Katrina. How you doing? Alhamdulillah, everything is great here. How's everything where you're at? What state are you in again? Uh, hold on, guys. We're just going down the list of good winter fragrances for women. So the most recent one I was just mentioning is gonna be the Coco Chanel. Okay. Oh yeah. So y'all definitely, it's definitely cold out there, Sister Katrina. Hold on. Yeah, it was like 27 degrees here in Pennsylvania yesterday and today. The Coco Mademoiselle is a good winter wear. The cinnamon sugar donut, that's all the way winter. Just because you have the cinnamon in there, you have like hints of cinnamon. But when you smell it, first thing you think of is like fresh baked goods, you know. So the cinnamon sugar donut is going to be a good one. Let me see here. I'll pin it here in the shop. This weather is something else, sis. Excuse me. This weather is something else. It's just all over the place. It's just like one day it's raining, the next day it's 60 degrees, the next day it's like freezing again with snow all over the place. Okay, so Benjamin here says if you have Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette and 1 million Eau de Toilette, try combining them, please. It smells fire. It's funny. I was just leaving the gym today, and there was somebody wearing something that reminded me of Dior Sauvage and 1 million together, actually, and I couldn't pinpoint it. Usually, I know my fragrances, and I'll try to ask the person and take a wild guess, and usually I'm pretty on the money. But today I was like, "Ooh, I don't want to be wrong," so I'm not gonna ask this person if that's what they're wearing. Um, so we're just going down here, going down the list of women's fragrances for the winter. And my recommendations here, the Dolce Gabbana, the classic Dolce Gabbana, that one is a good winter wear. It's very heavy. It's floral, but it's got some heavy musks in there. Let me see what else. Forever Red is very sweet. That's another thing too. Some of the sweeter gourmandy like fragrances could be good winter wears, and the Forever Red is one of those. Yeah, Katrina says she likes oils for any season. That's how I am. Exactly how I am. And it just really depends. It just depends on sometimes I'll have some fragrances that I'm wearing, and then like I'll just totally lose interest in it. And then it might take forever for me to kind of gain interest back in that particular fragrance. But I have a fragrance in my library that I don't even know what it is. It's a good it smells like it's a very strong fragrance. It's got some good sillage to it, but it came in this decanter, like this little, fancy decanter with a long stem that comes up. And I actually traded it. in a barter, but I don't know what it is, and I'm about to send it out to a couple people and see if they can identify it for me, so I can actually post it for sale. But it's just been sitting there. Let me see here. Pink sugar, that's gonna be a good winter wear, I think. Anything sweet. Golden sugar, same thing. Let me see. Isimiaki for women, that's also another good winter wear. Lost Cherry, Tom Ford, that one is a good women's one, but I don't know if that's a winter wear. That one is funny. I was telling my brother, I was like, I'm gonna come up with my own cherry fragrance. I'm gonna call it She Found Her Way Back Cherry. Let me see. The Madame JPG, the Madame Jean Paul Gaultier, that fragrance, that women's fragrance is a very underrated fragrance. I'm surprised that one didn't really doesn't get much recognition. The Mon Paris, very, very good. This one, the Mon Paris YSL, that fragrance is has become one of my top selling women's fragrances. Let me see. And I don't know why I have Polar Red Extreme in the women's section here. It must have been a typo. Red Door, I'm gonna say that's another one. Sugar Cookie Snickerdoodle, definitely a women's fragrance. Definitely a good winter wear. It's just a loud, sweet fragrance. And let me see here. And again, the Tom Ford, Tom Ford North for women. That's going to be a good winter wear. The all the vanilla is going to be great winter wears. The warm vanilla sugar is another one, and also white diamonds. Those are my picks. Those are my picks for winter wears for women. And then we've got unisex. A lot of these unisexes are going to be good because a lot of them are musks. So you got I'll just quickly go down the list of the unisex ones that I think are going to be good winter wears, and I'll say yay or nay. So aloe vera, I'm sorry, 24 karat royal musk, no. African gold, maybe winter wear. Aloe vera, no. That's more of a summer wear. Uh, African musk, winter. Amber musk, winter. Arabian sandalwood, winter. Arabian jasmine, no. Arabian opium, absolutely in winter wear. Arabian white musk, maybe. Baby powder, definitely in winter wear. That's an all year long. That's an all year long type of winter, or I'm sorry, all year long type of fragrance. Blackberry musk, no. Black musk, yep, winter wear. Black love, winter wear. Blackstone, I don't like this Blackstone that I have. I need to get a new one. Blue Now, that's definitely a winter wear. That's a super loud fragrance, that Blue Now. So that's going to be definitely a winter wear. Blue Raspberry Candy, not really. That one is more of a summer, I think. Let's see. I don't want to name some of these fragrances because some of them got or have the bad names. China Musk, yes. Chocolate, definitely winter wear. Sublime Vanilla, yes. All the heavy fruity fragrances, coconut mango, cocoa mango, definitely winter wears. China Rain, yes. Um, Dark Amber, winter wear. Dottle Amber, winter wear. Deep Love, yes. Egyptian Amber, winter wear. Egyptian musk, yes, all year long type of fragrance. The superior Egyptian musk is going to be a winter wear. The Egyptian musk, the red Egyptian musk, is going to be winter. That one is has some patchouli notes in it. So if you are into musks that have are heavy on the patchouli, the uh, the Egyptian the red Egyptian musk is heavy on patchouli. Hold on a second. Superior Egyptian musk is another winter. That's another heavy musk. Frankincense and myrrh, the old school hippie style, that's going to be a good winter wear. We said for dose earlier, that's going to be a good winter wear. Uh, honey nut musk, yeah, I would say that's a good winter wear. Kush, let me see, Mecca musk, Mecca gold, Nag Champa, all winter wears. Night musk, I wish I could get a hold of that fragrance again because I think that's a really that was one of those fragrances that I ignored and I came back to it and I thought it was really good. Orange blossom, no. Orange jasmine, no. Patchouli is definitely a winter wear. Patty LaBelle's. Why is that in the unisex section? Patty LaBelle is definitely a winter wear. Uh, Pheromone, winter wear. Rose, yep. Actually, I would prefer to wear rose in the winter because the rose that I have is very loud. Sup and Marwa, winter wear. Silver Mountain Water, no. That's a summer. Somali Rose, big time winter wear. And the Body Oil Shop, that's a winter wear. Tunisian Frankincense is a big time winter wear. Watermelon, that's a summertime. The White Angel Musk depends. I would say that's more of a summer fragrance. And also the Vanilla Musk is going to be a winter wear. And that's it, guys. That's what we got there. But let's see. Oof. Oh, you're welcome, Monica. No problem. I need something to drink. Ay, ay. I don't know if I'm here. I'm sitting here on the floor. I don't know if I'm comfortable on the floor. Angela, how you doing? Did you get those samples? Awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad you like them. Which? So Angela here. She got the. She requested. I think I sent about 25, 20 about what 2025 1 ml samples out of my most premium and also my imported fragrances. And she just got those in the mail, or you probably been got them in the mail. Which ones that really stood out to you? So our viewers know. So she says she has not decided which. Angela says she has not decided which one she likes the most. She likes the spicier ones. Which ones did you find spicy? It's good to get this kind of feedback because what you might think is spicy, maybe I might think is like not spicy, or but it's just good to get this because like other people might ask, and I'm like, okay, well, it helps me get feedback for other people. Let's say if someone else is looking for something spicy. If you guys got any questions, go ahead and throw them down in the chat. I'm gonna grab something to drink, guys. Ugh, I'll be right back. Oh boy, I'm sorry, I'm back, guys. I just needed to get something. I just need to get something, some water here. Oh yeah, Angela says she'll let me know tomorrow what the names are because Angela, we actually got someone here viewing in that said what's considered to be spicy. But to me, I don't know what Angela's opinions are on the or what she got from those samples that she received. But I will say this: for me, what I find to be spicy is gonna be the Gilaf Ikaba. That's probably my most expensive fragrance. Gilaf Ikaba is definitely a spicy fragrance. That's got notes of sandalwood, saffron, um, oud, and I forget what other notes are in there. And then second on the list is going to be the imported French version of the 1 million. It's definitely heavy on the spice, in my opinion. Oud Isfahan is another one. I think I actually have that here in front of me. This is the Oud Isfahan. I think that's a spicy fragrance. And then the Muscale is another one that I thought was spicy. The Mawa. Yeah. You like the Oud Isfahan harmonica? That one is a lot of women like that fragrance. When I first got that fragrance, I actually was a little worried because I'm like, maybe it might smell too exotic, and maybe it might kind of be kind of just throw a bunch of people off. But I found that a lot of women actually like that fragrance. Yeah, Monica says the Oud Isfahan has a lot of depth. Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, let's see. So Monica says a lot of her girlfriends are getting more into the woody, deep fragrances. Yeah, that's a trend that's coming. It's been in for the past few years. Another one that you might like. So your girlfriends. See, what I do is like people that are just getting into the ouds. I don't like to just throw them straight into the barnyard type of ouds because if you do that, it might turn them off for good. But what I like to do is when I'm introducing someone to oud, I like to introduce them to the oud blends first, or a type of oud blend that smells more like has that more of that authentic smelling oud fragrance in it. And one of the ones that I would recommend for someone like an introductory is gonna be like the woody oud. The woody oud. That one is sweet and also musk oud. I was in a grocery store one day and there was the cashier. She gave me compliments about that. The musk oud. That one is a good one. But like the oud shiyuki, that one is smells. That's not something I would introduce straight off the jump to um, someone who's just getting into ouds. That's like something that I would share with the brothers, and they would love it. They would appreciate it. You know. Uh, so Tifa says, "How do you apply oil where people don't choke? Do you mean like where do you put it to where you can conceal the fragrance enough to where it won't cause people to choke? Is that what you mean?" And Monica says her first oud she smelled, it was nasty. Yeah. Yeah, I smell some pretty nasty ouds. I'm like, how could you wear that? Yeah, I just was not into it. I'd have to, but you know what? If you really want to, if you ever get a barnyard oud, I got some people out there that actually ask. They actually request the barnyards. They actually want that barnyard smell. Uh, some of the brothers I know, they just wear it straight. And I'm like, dang, you didn't even prepare anybody for that. Yeah, yeah, and just wear it as is. Yeah, to just wear it as it is. Like, there's some guys I've run into some oud connoisseurs. That's exactly how they wear it. They wear it straight. Now, not all ouds though. Not all ouds have like if they wear it straight. Not all ouds have that barnyard smell. There's some ouds that like the dry down. Once it dries down, it smells more like a white oud, believe it or not. But then there's some out there that just it's too much. It's just way too much, and it's just a turn off. Um, but if I were to get a barnyard oud and I were to have that, I would go and seek out a really really premium rose. I'm big on rose. I really like a good rose, especially Turkish rose. I have a Turkish rose. It's good. I like Turkish rose, but the this is not the, I got a Turkish rose from India from a manufacturer in India, and it smelled like a really pure rose. The only thing about rose is like if I smell it long enough, I will actually get kind of like, all right, I'm done with that. I don't want to smell it anymore. But this particular rose smelled more like almost like a rose water, like a natural rose that I actually, believe it or not, didn't get tired of. So Monica says, yeah, she was thinking she would blend a quality oud and rose to see how it comes out. Yeah, like a quality rose, maybe um, a quality sandalwood, and for me, I would find some other kind of musk. I would find a different type of musk, and I would also throw in some white oud in there. And I keep saying white oud, but I would throw that in there and see how it turns out. There's another one, Sensual Obsessions. How are you doing? Try MFK Oud Satin Mood. Great oud and rose fragrance. He says, Monica says, "Sounds like white ooze is a secret ingredient." That makes a really good mullet. It makes a good blending ingredient for mullets. So, but so he said, try MFK Oud Satin, Oud Satin Mood, Great Oud and Rose fragrance. That sounds good. That sounds like a really good blend. Yeah, sensual obsession said, rose and vanilla goes good together as well. Rose and vanilla. Yeah, vanilla is hard to get though. I have a vanilla, but I was trying to get vanilla done in the. I was trying to get vanilla done as a French fragrance, and it was the guy I was trying to get him to make it as a French version. He couldn't do it. Zara's Rose Gourmand. I have to look that up. Monica says Zara's Rose Gourmand is probably a dupe of a designer, but I don't know which one. Okay, I see it here. Yeah, 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 yeah. Zara Rose Gourmand. It's not a very expensive fragrance. This one ships from Portugal. It sounds good though. She said it's like a sugary rose vanilla. Okay. We're just talking here, TikTok. We're talking about the different blends that go well, and we had someone mention how rose and vanilla goes well. We have the vanilla bean right here in the shop. If you want to check that out, it is. I just pinned that. Uh, this is a new vanilla bean that I just got in, and it's just a really good quality, guys. It's got some good hang time to it. It's very loud projection. If you're into a very loud vanilla bean, you'll want to check out my vanilla bean. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna be YouTube. I think I'm gonna be checking out here very shortly. Actually, if you guys have any more questions, go ahead and throw them down in the comments. So Elena says she said that will be her next scent. She loves to layer it. layer it with layer with it. Talking about the vanilla or rose, Elena? Yeah, yeah. I haven't layered the. Well, I got two vanillas. Well, actually, like three different vanillas. I got warm vanilla sugar. I have French vanilla, and then I have the vanilla bean, and then another one which is the regular vanilla. I actually haven't layered any of those. I gotta try it and see how it turns out. Uh, Elena says she works with. I work it with Sol de Janeiro 71. Really? Hair Winkler said he just got Grand Sword. Just got myself a 70 ml. I don't know that fragrance. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know that fragrance. I'm really big onto the fragrance oils, the imported oils. Um, so I'm not very well versed. I have to say, I'm not very well versed with a lot of the sprays in the in this side of the fragrance world. Like we deal with a lot of like niche stuff. We deal with a lot of stuff that are duplicates, and then there's some that are blends. So blends that somebody just made up and just gave it a name. So if you throw a name at me of like the original designer, there's a good chance like a lot of times I won't know it sometimes. He's from Mason, Francis Curti Kirk Kirk Curtijan Curtijan. Okay, interesting. What are the notes in that fragrance there, Harry? I'm sorry, hair. What are the notes in that fragrance in the Grand Sour? So, Elena said, hold on one second. We got a question here, Elena. Oh, uh, so Monica says, if I like the history of fragrance, she went to check out the library today and checked out a book called The Scent Trail. Interesting. The Scent Trail. I'm gonna have to look that up. You always dropping some good information on me here, Monica. Hold on, let me put this in here. Okay, I got that saved, Monica. So Tifa says, how can we order from you? You could just go straight to the website. I'll put it right here in the comments section. Hold on a second. If there is something like a special request that you see on the website and I don't have that size, you can also send me an email and I can send you an invoice. There it is, Tifa. You see that? You got that? And my website, I'm sorry, my email is on the website as well. So Monica says it can train this book is called The History of Fragrance, and she says it contains it traces the origins and history of specific scents. That's got to be a big book. I'm willing to bet that's probably a big book, Monica. Is it or no? Is it a hardback? Um. So yeah. So Elena says she's been wearing oils forever. I'm from the '80s. It was the thing. It was the thing. Yeah. I mean, well, I grew up as a kid, in the '90s. Oh, it's not really that big. Monica. I'm gonna have to check it out. Where's the best place to order that? Let's see. So, Elena. So, but with the oils, I grew up around them. Like I was saying in some previous live streams, is that the only oils that we knew around were like Somali rose, the Egyptian musk, frankincense, and I think that was it. There was only just a handful of different oils. What when in the 80s, what oils? Oh, also Blue Now. What oils were you able to access in the 80s, Monica? I'm juggling here between platforms, so I'm trying to respond to some of these comments. So Hair Winkler, he says for him basically this fragrance it was called Grand Soar. He says basically really heavy amber with a decent vanilla. And he says he's not a native speaker, so his English isn't that great. I understand everything you're saying. And that's not me on my profile pic. It's a German streamer. So hair. So I try to explain kind of like so I can explain better what it is that I do. I sell the oils. So these oils, they're basically perfume without the alcohol spray in them, right? Without the alcohol mixed. And growing up as a child, like a lot of low income neighborhoods because they couldn't afford to go to like the department stores and spend 60, 70, 80 bucks on a perfume. The They were able to access the roll-ons, right? um Let me see, hold on, I don't have it in front of me, but they come in these. I'll pin it right here so you can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. uh you can see just like right here in this picture here. So the roll-ons were way way cheaper when I was a kid growing up. They were like you can get a roll-on for like 3 bucks, right? And people will be so happy because it's like they would be able to smell good without having to spend a high dollar amount. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why these fragrances were so inexpensive was for the simple fact that they came in mass produced bottles that were inexpensive, and they could smell great for just only a few bucks. And so that's how I ended up getting into this business. But father of the pack, how you doing? Thanks for liking. You do have the duplicates of like the designers, right? And some of them smell very similar. Some of them don't smell 100% the same. Some of them aren't quite as pure, but they smell similar to them. So that's why people like the fragrance oils because they're inexpensive and you could smell great for a fraction of the cost of what you would spend for the designer fragrances like the original ones. So that's kind of what I do. So but in this world of fragrance, with the oils, you have a lot of blending going on. So that's why like with the sprays, those spray bottles, they have the crimp seal on them, so you can't just crack those open. The easiest thing you can do to blend those is to layer them, like spray them like that. But when you're dealing with stuff like this, like these cans, right? I can go take another bottle, pour a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I can basically create my own scent. So, um, So Elena says she used them because they are long lasting. Glad to have found you. Great. I'm glad you found me too. And she said it's gotten so much better over the years, much better. Yeah. So hair, he's stepping in from the spray world, and he says, "Okay, I see. I've actually never smelled or owned a perfume oil. You might want to give it a try. Uh, I recommend for your first go straight into the. I would get an import, and I would get a domestic, and I'll pin them right here in the shop so you can see. Um, are you into the musks? Are you into the ambers? Um, Monica, that book, yeah, okay. I'm gonna try to get that book from Amazon. It's called the uh it's written by Celia Littleton, and it's called The History of Fragrance. It's called The Scent Trail. And we got another question here. What are some of my favorites? Uh well, if you really want to know, I know I sound like a broken record here, but what I would carry with me to create an impression is going to be the white oud. The white oud is just because it's such a unique scent. I'm pinning the white oud. You won't regret this fragrance, man. If you are trying to experience the oils for the first time, you will not regret that fragrance. I don't have everything here in the TikTok shop, but if you go check out my website, it's extravagantfragrances.com, and I'm gonna post that in the comments. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna post that in the comments. It's I was talking to someone in France. He's another vendor of the fragrance oils, and he was saying how he's shocked how people still don't know much about the non-alcoholic fragrances. So another thing I wanted to say is sometimes there are other people who will actually take the fragrance oils and they will make sprays out of them. So what they'll do is they'll get an alcohol called denat. Uh, I think I believe it's called denatured alcohol, and they will mix that with the oil, and that's what will create a spray. And so that's why that's basically what the sprays are. Is they start in the form. They start in oil first, and there's different purities of oil. There's some oils that are purer than others, and there's some that are just not as pure, but they're still a good quality because you know it, they're just made that way for cost efficiency. And so I pinned the white oud. Another one that I would highly recommend is the Misk Al Rijal. That's a French fragrance. Uh, that's one of my personal favorites. Tifas is the Misk Al Rijal. The also the Invictus Aqua is one of my favorites. So I will from time to time I'll rotate white oud, Misk Al Rijal, the Invictus Aqua, uh, and Oud Isfahan. Those five. And maybe every once in a while I'll slip in the Musk KL. So her here's another one I'm gonna recommend among the domestic. If you're into musks, you might want to try the Egyptian musk. That's a domestic fragrance oil. However, it is my number one most popular selling fragrance. So I would check out those two. I would check out if you're new into the fragrance oil side of the fragrance world, check out White Oud, check out Misk Al Rijal, and check out Egyptian Musk. The Egyptian musk is an inexpensive, introductory fragrance. Elena here was talking about how oils were back in the 80s, and those were like that was a common fragrance back in the 80s, and it's still a timeless scent even till now. Hearst is gonna give me a follow. You're a really cool dude, but I'm actually going to sleep. Oh, so her is here in Europe. I'm okay, no problem, man. Thanks for the follow though, and I'll be trying to do these live streams more regularly. But yeah, check it out. And again, like I said, thanks for the follow, and hopefully I'll see you soon, man. Get some good rest. So Tifas, I hope that answers your questions. That's kind of what I'm into. I like the Oud Isfahan because Oud Isfahan, when it dries down, you still smell like some notes of pure oud in there. You too. You have a good one too, her. Yeah, that's why with the oud shiyuki, I don't get that. I don't know if I get that from oud shiyuki like I do with oud Isfahan. Oud shiyuki is a good. It's a good oud. It's a thicker oud. Uh, but I don't get that same like pure smelling oud after the dry down. Maybe the initial projection of the oud shiyuki, it might give off authentic notes of oud, but the dry down is where it really is where it really is at. Like once you get to the dry down, you're gonna know. Once you wash your hands, you wash your hands a couple times, you're gonna know what it is. Um, you have a good one too, there, here. Elena says, yeah, the yeah, now pink sugar is popular. Amber white, Baccarat 540. Yeah, I have to. I'm gonna have to try that Baccarat in an import version because somebody sent me a sample of the domestic version, and like I said, like I wasn't too impressed by the domestic Baccarat. But Amber White is good. That's a nice office fragrance. Elena says she likes Ariana Grande Cloud Copy. Gotta find the right one. You're right. Yeah, I just didn't know what to make of the Baccarat. Hey, thank you, Monica, for that information. I'm definitely going to look that up. We've been on here for what, almost an hour and 48 minutes. Man, I look at some of these live streamers on like TikTok. Dude, these guys are not playing. When I say I see some, I'll go leave the house. I'll go to the grocery store, come back, eat dinner, spend time with the family. I'll come back. They'll still be on live. Like 5 hours straight, 6 hours straight, just sitting there, just sitting there on live. I'm like, whoa, that is hardcore, man. Hardcore. There's one guy I saw on live. Some of you might have seen him. This guy, he sings people's names. I mean, the guy's a good singer. You know what I mean? Great. He's got a great voice. But, but This guy, he switches up his glasses. Like last night, he was wearing these glasses where they're like plastic. They're like women's like a pair of like women's plastic like fingers, and they're like on his eyes, and he's like he's like singing everybody's names, and I'm like, man, and this guy does not miss a beat. Like he goes on there and he's just Amari, Adana, Abana, Adana, and he's just I must hear Amari and Muhammad every time on his lives. Those two names always come up. I don't know if he's just making them up because I never see a Muhammad in the chat and I never see an Amari in the chat. But this guy, this dude is on it. And yeah, he just hours straight. I'll come back. James, how you doing? I'll come back a couple hours later. He'll still be singing. He will still be singing people's names. I'm like, man, that is hardcore, dude. And you could kind of tell, like at first, like when I first started, like when I first saw the guys live, I was like, I don't know if he just started it live, like doing like this kind of niche, but he was like, at first he was standing up singing people's names. Then like a few days later, when I came back, I saw him live. He was sitting down, and I'm like, okay, my man is getting tired here. He he gotta be getting tired, but he's still hanging tough. He was still hanging tough. Like he was at one point, he stopped for a second. He had to take like a little, a little like swallow. You know what I'm saying? But I think maybe you should have like some water with him. You know what I mean? Because I know his voice, his throat probably had to be getting dry. From singing the whole time. But yeah. So Elena says she's seen different different topics, different topics too for hours. Yep. Or coloring, writing names. She watched one girl put on makeup like 2 hours. She said, "I wonder." She said, "What's wrong with me?" I said, "What's wrong with me?" Oh, I don't know. I don't know how they could do it. I mean, I can. Huh? Babe, please, babe. That biscuit looks great, but I will be there. Babe, I'll be there shortly. It looks great. Okay, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna eat it. So, wifey wants me to taste the dinner, but I don't do tasting. I just when I'm ready to sit down and eat, whatever you made. I'm gonna eat everything that you made. No questions asked. Elena says you better go eat. Oh, trust me, I'm about to go. I'm gonna wrap it up. But yeah, those those live streams, boy, they got the one girl, she's like, well, my parents are probably gonna kill me. She's like, but she's like, I'm gonna write down the names. I'm gonna write your name on my wall. And she starts writing names on the wall in her room. Everybody's names. I'm thinking to myself, girl, she probably got a can of paint sitting there off to the side where she's just gonna, you know, uh, go over it with the same color paint. Aleda says she cannot watch those AI people. They are. Well, what do you mean the AI people? What do they do? What are these AI people doing? We're gonna be wrapping it up here shortly, guys. I want to see what Elaine is gonna say. But like I was saying, I could do live, no problem. I could push for 2 hours, you know what I'm saying, talking lives. Because the thing is, like when I'm doing these lives, like all of a sudden it's like I'm about to check out, and then like you'll just get a rush. It's like the AI knows that you're about to get off, and the algorithm is like enjoying it or whatever. And then all of a sudden you'll just get you'll get a flock of people that just come just piling in. And you're like, and then the questions come, and it's like, oh snap, okay. Um, so Elena says the AI people, she said they move like up and down and say thanks for the roses, like they're floating. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. You mean like they sit there like there's some cart like some computer character, like a computer game character. Is that what you mean, Elena? That's too much. That's doing too much. To me, that's just like I don't know. I mean, then they yell at their kids in the background. So they break. You say they break character. They break character and start yelling at their kids in the background. That's funny. Ah, I don't know. I mean, I understand like everybody got their hustle, everybody got their kind of gimmick that they do, but I don't know. Me personally, I want to talk about something productive. Like this video, we've been going now almost 2 hours. This is going to go up on YouTube. It's going to be there. People are going to come back. They're going to watch it. They're going to probably listen to it, and it's going to be serve as a reference point that hopefully will benefit them. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I remember I came here on live and talked to one day. Somebody asked me to say the ABCs. I'm like, I'm not singing no ABCs, man. Come on. I'm not gonna sit here and be singing no ABCs. Like, what do I look like here? Uh, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But to be honest with you, Elena, like, yeah, them characters that be doing that stuff, they be doing other stuff too. You know what I mean? That they're little floating in place. That stuff is just a little funnel into something else. If you understand what I mean. What's that, babe? I love you too, babe. That's cute. So the wife made me a little. She made a little heart out of the little. What is this? Like little bread. It's for the bread. So appreciate. I love you too, babe. A lady says she tried to watch 5 minutes more than just to see it, but it's too fakish. Thanks for the roses. Yeah, yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip. They be doing that. That's their little gateway into their other things. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. We are pushing at an hour and 58 minutes. But yeah, like I said, I could do these live streams like this as long as I got something to talk about. And I want to have these streams be productive. That's why today I tried to come with kind of like an outline of what to talk about. Yeah, the conversation might stray a little bit, just because we just want to have fun. You know what I mean? But I can go and like come back. You know what I'm saying? But to be on for like 5 hours straight, that's hardcore, yo. That's straight up hardcore. I don't know if I can hang with that. Yeah. But anyways, it was so good to hear from you guys. Monica, Elena, James, thanks for joining in. T Fuss. It was good talking to you all. And time for dinner, guys. I don't know. Maybe I might be back on. I don't know. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. And I will see you soon, guys. I'm going to be ending it here on the YouTube first. Let me see. Hold on.